What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Angel Reese. This Angel Reese has made the headlines again. Fans are questioning, WNBA fans are questioning Angel Reese's back injury. As you know, Angel Reese missed a few weeks of basketball because she said she had a back injury. But she in all the hot spots. She had boxing matches and after parties and all this, and they say she dancing and doing the most when she's supposed to be recovering from a back injury, right? And so fans are calling out Angel Reese, saying that they believe that her back injury was a fake. So I don't know if she was faking a back injury, but I do know that it's not a good look for you to be at all of the like you to be out dancing and doing all this kind of crazy stuff at you know uh parties and all that stuff. You know that people are going to call this into question, right? And so even if Angel Reese feel like, okay, I don't even care what people think. But sometimes even though you may not care what people think, sometimes you have to still take into consideration like how that's going to look. And like I saw like a video of her at that fight party. I mean, not the fight party, but the fight. The guy, I think before the guy went out to fight, what's his name? Broner, was it Broner? But I don't know what his name is. But she was in there with the like hugging and all this other stuff, and she had this tight bodysuit on. I just don't think it was a good look. I think sometimes you got to keep a low profile. You know, um, she out on the town and everything, all over the place, and people going to call it out. I don't know who is like her advisor or who is like her publicist or something like this, but she's not. She every move she make just seems to be it just seems to not really work out in her favor. Like, and so I think they get to the point, like she's probably to the point where, like I said, she said, I don't care. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. People gonna say what they want to say. But that's not how sometimes you got to use good judgment. And I don't think that she uses good judgment. I think all of this stuff, even though this right here might not come back to bite her, but I still think that it has a like it's a buildup. Like all of this stuff, the threatening to strike, um, pay me what you owe me, and some of the other comments that she make. Then, like I said, she's out partying and all of this stuff. It just builds up, and then it all works against you. So she got to keep that in mind if she wants to and she don't want to burn bridges, and she don't want people to have like especially when it comes to like management and ownership. She don't want these people to have a bad taste in their mouth about her. She want to be able to go to the negotiating table with some leverage. Um, Sometimes people think that just because they are like in any job, people think, well, I work hard, I do my job. That's not always enough just to be good at your job. There's some other things that you got to bring to the table besides being good at your job. You just can't be good at your job and then cause like confusion, or you can't be good at your job and then be caught up in controversy or drama all the time and then holler, well, I do my job. I work hard. It don't work like that. You have to show that you are a team player, that you are not selfish, that you're willing to sometimes you have to even put the team, make it look like at least that you're putting the team before yourself or take the team into consideration. But she don't never make these kind of moves. And so the first time the team get the opportunity to give her the short end of the stick, they're gonna give it to her because she never, not any occasion, she never takes the opportunity that she had to to build relationships with people who can affect her career after she's not playing basketball no more. Because like when you play professional sports, there's only a window that you have. You're going to be making like your endorsements and whatever you get for playing basketball. You have that money, right? But that money don't last forever. So in order to continue to make money, right now, what she's supposed to be doing is building relationships outside of basketball, or maybe even inside of basketball, whereas though she can transition after basketball. Because this money right now that she's making, she probably spending it as soon as as fast as it's coming in, she probably spending it just as fast. So, in order to maintain a lifestyle that she has become accustomed to as a professional athlete, she's going to have relationships. And if you are a player who is, or a person who just seems like they are selfish, they all about self. They have never along the way, like she's never along the way been in a position where as though she did somebody a favor, or or took the opportunity to build a bridge with somebody. Then she gonna be out on an island all by herself. And then on top of that, when you burn bridges, now you have people out there looking to bring you down, not just people who don't care if you make it or not. It's a whole different dynamic when you have people who are now looking, as if they ever have the opportunity to bring you down, then they're going to use that, and that's what they're going to do. But a lot of young players don't really realize that. They don't take that into account, that like the time that you're in the league, and you're making the money that you're making, like I said, from the teams that you're making it from, endorsements and stuff like that. You need to be building relationships, and because that's what business is all about. Making contacts. You need to be making contacts and building relationships, and protecting her public image. You know, I think that's of utmost important, because you want to protect your public image, your brand. You don't want to be seen as somebody who is selfish, somebody who is hard to get along with, can't work with other people, because that athleticism, it just it it wears off after a while. She won't be able to get double digits and rebounds every game. And once you're not playing basketball, you're not getting 10, 12, 15 rebounds. People don't care about you no more. If that's all you bring to the table, you're not thinking about the future when it when it comes to, like business choices and stuff like that. It's all gravy now. But you have people who have power and influence who just looking at this, and they just biding their time. People who are wise enough to know that later on, you won't even be able to I mean, mess around and be coaching a high school team somewhere. Not there's anything wrong with that, but maybe she might want to be. She already have her own podcast, so maybe later on she might want to be on a major network, as a sports commentator. But if she don't have those relationships, and she don't have that, her brand is not where it needs to be, then that it's gonna be hard. And so, like I said, all these things that she do off the court really is going to, and if not now, in the future, I think it will affect her bottom line. And only then, like once it have an adverse effect on your bottom line, only then, that's when a lot of people, then they regret saying some of the things they said, doing some of the things they did. And so I don't know. I just, it's just like I said, if she had somebody in her corner who was more mature, and somebody who can direct her and tell her line, this is not a good look. That's not a good look. Don't say this, don't say that. And because that's how, like I said, that's how the game is played. It's all about building relationships. And that's the only way you can make it in business. If you burn all the bridges and you don't have any relationships with anybody, who you going to do business with? Who going to hire you? Who wants to um who wants to be attached to your brand? If you just a diva, somebody who think they can do what they want when they want. People like divas, they cannot wait. People, a lot of times people can't wait until you fall off, so they can just step on you. So that's my thing with that. My opinion. I don't know if her back is bad or not, but I know that um, it's just not a good look for her to be at all these events dancing the way she's dancing. So like I said, just make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.